We know the Cardinals, if they don't bring him back, are going to have to find a way to replace his spot in the rotation. Could do that internally. That's kind of an off-season conversation, or at least later in the campaign. But I would at least say this, Caleb. I think it's confirmed that you'll be seeing Flaherty and Willson a lot more this season, which was maybe a question mark as of a week or so ago when it just wasn't really clear what the Cardinals' plan for Contreras was. And we never really did get, I think, a full answer about it. If you saw Bob Nightingale's story for USA Today, he had put in there and didn't source it or anything, but Bob Nightingale, obviously a connected guy. But he said what he had the impression of was that the Cardinals pitching staff basically said they didn't want to throw to Willson Contreras anymore this season. And so some things I think were said behind the scenes, whether it was as simple as that or more complicated. Clearly there was some miscommunication, or I might even just say bad communication going on between the Cardinals pitchers, between Contreras, and those gaps had to be bridged in one way or another. And I think we have gotten to a point where that has taken place. It was good to see Willson kind of talk a little more openly about the way that conversation in Chicago really was able to be something they could build upon. They could all get on the same page and understand that, for whatever the opinion about Contreras was, off the field, on the field, whatever it was, they all got to see that side of him that they needed to see to know that whatever the pretense was, it's kind of hard to get a handle on exactly what they were all feeling and thinking. It's great to see Willson Contreras and how much he cares and how much he wants to win just like those guys do. And I think that was the takeaway. And so they're moving forward, Caleb, and I think Cardinals fans will have the luxury of doing so as well. It was so important that they had this start tonight, because imagine how it would have gone if things had gone the other way. If Flaherty goes out there and you look at what he does in the first inning, pitch count is high, walks a couple of batters. Yes, he's able to navigate it and get out of it, but let's imagine he has 3 or 4 more innings just like that and maybe coughs up a couple of runs here and there. If it's a 5-walk outing where he doesn't get through 5 innings and gives up 3 or 4 runs, suddenly we're going, oh man, more of the same with Jack Flaherty. Is there going to be another conversation about Contreras and whether he can call a game for this team? What's the situation? No, that's all gone. And I understand the record is not completely gone. The Cardinals are still 8 games under, and that's a factor. But they're 6.5 games back of the Brewers. They are even less than that out of a playoff spot. The Cardinals are going to be just fine, I think, is the emphatic statement that was made, not only over the past week, but to be able to go back home where you have struggled so far in the year and do it tonight against the division-leading team. I think the Cardinals put the Brewers on notice tonight with the way that they performed in every facet of the game, to just absolutely slug the crap out of them, but also to show that, from a pitching standpoint, the Cardinals are also a force to be reckoned with if a guy like Jack Flaherty can go out and be that guy every 5th day. A huge, I don't know if I even would say sigh of relief, but it's a step forward at this point where the Cardinals can kind of be playing with the confidence that they have been developing over the past week or so in this winning skid, the streak that they're on now, right? They lose the final game in Chicago, but they win 2 of 3 there, and now they're riding 4 consecutive wins. They're doing against the team that they need to do it against, because you don't play the Brewers and anybody else in your division, for that matter, as much as you did in past years because of the balanced schedule. You only get them 12 total times, so you want to take advantage of each and every one of those opportunities. And look, the Cardinals needed a stretch like this to be able to pull closer to 500, to make people believe again, to make them feel like, all right, this was just a bad dream in April and early May from this team. And I really don't know how you could possibly doubt that at this point. All right, Arenado is clearly back. 4 home runs, 4 games in a row, home runs for Arenado. Did it at Fenway. Told me tonight that, yeah, that's a great place to hit for him. But to be able to come back and do it at Busch, do it against the Brewers, and do it in front of the home fans is something that's very critical as well for the Cardinals and their success moving forward. So I think you don't have to worry about Arenado anymore. The numbers are much improved. Take a look now. Yeah, 736 on the OPS. He's going to be back above 800 before you know it, going 2 for 4 tonight, or 2 for 3 tonight, I should say, with the 4 runs driven in. Just really good stuff from Arenado. That home run he hit would not have been a home run at Fenway, I don't think. I don't care what the Would It Dong Twitter account that you might see on there that'll tell you, oh, would it be a home run in all these other ballparks? I would say absolutely not tonight, because it would have hit the Green Monster for sure. A low line drive off the bat of Arenado, first inning, get the vibes going to begin the homestand. That's what the Cardinals needed. And then, for good measure, they scored 10 runs later on in the 8th inning. So just some pretty impressive stuff from the Cardinals to be able to do what they did tonight. Not only with Jack Flaherty, which I still think him and Willson Contreras ends up being, for me, kind of the headliner of this entire thing, but to score 18 runs and have me say that's not the headliner of the night, you know that something significant happened. So great to see from Jack Flaherty and the Cardinals. But the offense, man, I think fans are excited to see that as well with the home run barrage.